Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Sotah. We are up to Perek Vav, Mishnah Gimel. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilu Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbai, Eliyahu ben Burchai, Israel of Chana ben Miriam, Sason ben Raya, and Yoshua ben Shifra, Menuchata Megan Eden, Amen, and Lavdir ben Chaim Lechaim, V'derefua Shenemav, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shah Cholei Israel. Now that we learned that a single witness is enough to establish that the Sotah was defiled, Mishnah Gimel cites the verse from which this ruling is learned. However, before quoting the verse, the Mishnah explains why it is needed. The Mishnah's explanation is based on Rabbi Yeshua's ruling that two witnesses are required to testify about a Sotah's seclusion. The Mishnah begins, Shaya Badin. Logic would have told us that one witness is not enough to testify about her defilement. Uma im edut rishona shen osarta isur olam shen osarta isur olam enah mitkayemet bepachot mishnayim. For since the first testimony, the testimony about her seclusion, which does not permanently prohibit her to her husband, testimony about seclusion prohibits a Sotah to her husband only until she drinks the water. If drinking the water proves that she is innocent, she becomes permitted to him again. So since the first testimony, which does not permanently prohibit her to her husband, is not accepted if given by fewer than two witnesses, according to Rabbi Yeshua, edut acharona she'osrata isur olam eno din shelo titkem bepachot mishnayim, then the last testimony, the testimony about defilement, which could permanently prohibit her to her husband, should certainly not be accepted if given by fewer than two witnesses. Now, once testimony to her defilement is given, she is prohibited to her husband forever because she no longer has the option of proving her innocence by drinking the water. And the consequences of testimony about seclusion are less serious than the consequences of testimony about defilement. Since testimony about seclusion, about yichud, makes the woman prohibited to her husband only until she drinks the water and is proven innocent, while testimony about defilement makes her prohibited to him forever. Therefore, if testimony about seclusion requires two witnesses, then testimony about defilement should certainly require that many witnesses. Tamulomar ve'ed en ba. The Torah therefore states in Bamidbar chapter 5 verse 13, and there was no witness to defilement. Kol edut sheyesh ba, which teaches that if there is any testimony, even the testimony of one witness about her defilement, she does not drink the water and she is permanently forbidden to her husband. The Gemara on page 2a and page 31b in Masechet Sotah explains the teaching as follows. A. It is clear from the context that the verse refers to a woman who is certainly defiled and does not drink the water. And B. Whenever the Torah says ed, witness, it actually means two witnesses. Therefore, the verse quoted in the Mishnah, ve'ed en ba, and there was no witness to her defilement, means that if there were not two witnesses to her defilement, but there was one witness, she does not drink the water. The Torah therefore teaches that the testimony of one witness is enough to establish that she was defiled and prevent her from drinking. The Torah states in Sefer Dvarim, chapter 19, verse 15, Lo yakum ed echad beish, one witness shall not rise up against a man. The word one seems unnecessary there, since the word ed, witness, is singular. By adding one, the Torah teaches that the word ed always refers to two witnesses, unless the verse specifies one. Now that we learned that a single witness is enough to testify about a Sotah's defilement, the Mishnah considers the question of why a single witness is not enough to testify about her seclusion. Kal v'chomer le'edut harishona me'ata. Now that it has been shown that a single witness is enough for the last testimony, a testimony about defilement, a kal v'chomer should tell us that a single witness should certainly suffice for the first testimony about seclusion. Now, just to explain, kal v'chomer literally meaning lenient and strict is the name of a logical argument that runs as follows. If a strict law applies in a case where leniency would have been expected, it certainly applies in a case where stringency is expected. And the opposite way also. If a lenient law applies in a case where stringency would have been expected, it certainly applies where leniency is expected. Now, the first part of the Mishnah also started with the kal v'chomer, since the first testimony, which does not permanently prohibit her to her husband, is not valid if given by fewer than two witnesses, then the last testimony, etc. Same flow of logic. The Mishnah continues, Uma im edut acharona she'osrata isur olam harei mitkemet be'ed echad. Since the last testimony, the testimony about defilement, which permanently prohibits her to her husband, is accepted even if given by a single witness, edut harishona she'en osrata isur olam, and no din shetitkayem be'ed echad, then the first testimony, the testimony about seclusion, which does not permanently prohibit her to her husband, should certainly be accepted, even if given by just one witness. Tamud lomar, ki matza bah evat davar. The Torah therefore states in Dvarim chapter 24 verse 1, because he found in her a davar, a matter of immorality. Ule'alan hu omer al pi shnei edim yakum davar. And it states in another place regarding monetary law, by the testimony of two witnesses shall the matter davar be established. This is in Dvarim chapter 19 verse 15. The use of the same word davar in both verses creates a link between them. This form of link, of derivation, is called Gzera Shava. It was taught to Moshe at Mount Sinai that certain verses with similar words are linked to each other. Based on the link, laws that apply to the subject of one verse are applied to the other verse. This link teaches that Ma lehalan al pishnai medim afkan al pishnai medim. Just as there regarding monetary disputes, the law must be established by the testimony of two witnesses, so too here as well regarding a wife who engages in immorality, the matter of her seclusion must be established by the testimony of two witnesses. And that is the end of Mishnah Gimel. Now that we learned that only one witness is needed to testify that a Sotah was defiled during her conclusion and prevent her from drinking the bitter water, Mishnah Dal discusses what happens when that witness is contradicted by another witness. Ed omer nitmet ved omer lo nitmet. If one witness says that she was defiled during the seclusion and another witness says that she was not defiled, isha omeret nitmet v'isha omeret lo nitmet. Or if one woman or any other unqualified witness says that she was defiled and another woman says that she was not defiled, hayta sotah, the Sotah drinks the water, because the testimony of the witness who says that she was defiled is cancelled out by the testimony of the opposing witness. Since the two witnesses contradict each other, the court accepts the testimony of neither. The Sotah therefore remains in her original position. She is merely suspected of adultery, and so she may drink the water to prove that she is innocent. The Mishnah's case is one where the witnesses came to court together, for only then does the testimony of one cancel out the testimony of the other. If, however, one witness said that she sinned, and based on his testimony, the court ruled that she may not drink, it is too late for another witness to refute his testimony. Once the testimony of the first witness has been accepted, it is considered as strong as the testimony of two witnesses, which cannot be negated, cancelled out by a single witness. And this is how the Rav explains the Mishnah based on the Gemara in page 31b in Masechet Sotah. Now, in the following two cases, a single witness is contradicted by two witnesses. If one witness says that she was defiled at a certain time during the seclusion, and two witnesses say that she was not defiled at that particular time, but it's possible that she sinned at some other point during the seclusion, hayta sotah, she drinks the water. Since two witnesses are stronger than one, we know that she did not sin when they were watching. However, since she might have sinned before or after they were watching, her behavior remains unknown, and so she may drink the water to prove her innocence. The two witnesses said that they were with the single witness, and they saw that the Sotah did not sin at the time that the single witness claimed that she did. They do not know, however, whether or not she sinned at some other time during the seclusion. So, as in any case of a Sotah, it is possible that she committed adultery, and this doubt can be resolved by her drinking the water. Had the two witnesses testified that she was not defiled at any time during the seclusion, it would be established that she is innocent, and there would be no purpose in having her drink the water. Now, the previous section was explained in this Mishnah as referring to witnesses that came to court together. Here, though, the case could be even that they did not arrive together. Rather, the single witness testified that she sinned, and based on his testimony, the court ruled that she does not drink, and then the two witnesses came and contradicted him. The court accepts the testimony of the two witnesses to override the testimony of the single witness. Although the testimony of the single witness is treated as though it were given by two witnesses, it is still weaker than the testimony of two actual witnesses. And the Mishnah continues, Shnaim omrim nitmet ve'echad omer lo nitmet. If two witnesses say that she was defiled during the seclusion, and one witness says that she was not defiled, lo hayta sotah, she does not drink the water. In this case, we know that she sinned because two witnesses said that she did. Therefore, drinking the water serves no purpose. The Mishnah's last two rulings deal with two unqualified witnesses that testified against a single qualified witness. It teaches that we follow the majority even in such a situation. The Mishnah makes this point in two different cases in order to teach that we believe the unqualified witnesses regardless of whether the testimony leads to the woman drinking the water, as in the first case, or prevents her from drinking the water, as in the second case. And this is how the Rav explains the Mishnah based of the Gemara on page 31b. That is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.